Hello and welcome to another exclusive review with me, Alex Belfield, here at celebrityradio.biz, where last year we had over 12 million minutes viewed on YouTube. This week we're on Broadway at the Book of Mormon. Book of Mormon is one of the most hyped, popular and successful musicals in theatrical history. It's shocking, offensive, outrageous, and I loved every minute of it. It's a 5-star outrageous satire, with spectacular dance numbers, Broadway belters and a bucket load of parody, mocking the genre and subject throughout. This is not Disney, frankly, it's R18 and certainly not for the faint of heart or kids. Nothing is off limits, from lady part circumcision, paedophilia to race and religion. You wouldn't expect anything less from the makers of South Park. Hearing 2,000 people laughing at such a polished script and tight production staging on Broadway was a thrill. Book of Mormon is a 5-star belly laugh-inducing comedy romp packed with stunning vocals, hysterical dance routines throughout, and thought-provoking comedy that will leave you speechless, shocked, as well as roaring with laughter. Get tickets by googling Book of Mormon. The Book of Mormon, written by South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone and Oscar winner Robert Lopez, is still a sellout hit. The show won 9 Tonys, including Best Musical, and still generates over $1 million a week on Broadway in the top 5 shows. It's the story of young Mormon missionaries dispatched to a tribal village in Africa to win converts to the Mormon religion. This wasn't as easy as it first appeared. The spoof, parody and satire mocks the lunacy of religion and its devoted practitioners. It takes no prisoners at any level. Sometimes the more boundaries you push and the buttons you press, the more joyous and hysterical the journey becomes. I guess that's the genius of Matt and Trey. The reason Book of Mormon is such a ludicrous success is that despite it being a 2.5-hour piss take, it's perfectly crafted and beautifully produced and directed with a stellar script and tunes. Despite its parody, this show musically is up there with any London or Broadway production. On Broadway, Cody James Strands arguably steals the show with remarkable comic timing and likability as the compulsively deceptive Elder Cunningham, terrific voice and magnetic personality. His South Park style is a familiar hoot for the audience. Nikki Renee Daniels is truly stunning and the epitome of a Broadway star. Her voice is phenomenal and she truly shines in this role as Nabulungi. She vocally is sensational and untouchable in this show. Finally, Dave Thomas Brown leads this cast magnificently as Elder Price and deserves huge kudos for a perfect delivery. He has charm and a remarkable energy, pace, precision, and voice demonstrated throughout. The stupendous I Believe, best song in the show. Finally, what I love about Book of Mormon is the subtlety. There are obvious nods to The Lion King, but there's also clever musical references to Wicked and other Broadway musicals too. Equal to the musical subtlety is the outrageous comedy and crudity. In places, it's shocking, even after seeing it many times. Matt and Trey are geniuses, there's no doubt. This musical is welcome relief from the predictable, safe, repetitive songbook shows that have taken over the genre. There are moments you wince and wonder how do they get away with that. However, you leave elated, moved and slightly exhausted from laughing so much. Bravo, boys and girls. 5-star for Book of Mormon, which continues to run on Broadway, in the West End and on tour in 2018. You've been listening to another review by me, Alex Belfield, here at celebrityradio.biz, where last year we had over 10.5 million minutes viewed on YouTube. You can check out all of our hundreds of interviews and reviews at www.celebrityradio.biz. Ta-da.
Book of Mormon at Sunderland Empire right now. Stars of the show, Kevin Clay, who plays Elder Price, and Connor Pearson, who plays Elder Cunningham, popped in for a chat. So here you are in Sunderland now. When you move to a new place, do you have to, in a sense, relearn it? You know, the stage is different, the way things are set out backstage. Is it a well-oiled machine? You don't need to do that, perhaps.
In my experience, it's kind of both. The show itself, we have it so set, and so we know what we're doing in the show, so the show transitions very quickly for me, but oftentimes the change of digs, that will be what takes longer. So I'll adjust longer outside of the show, but the show just kind of click back into place.
I think our group here was expecting it to be a really jarring change. You know, we had a rehearsal while we were still in Manchester to, you know, like the stage might be slightly smaller and so, you know, we gotta blah 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 blah, and then we got here and our director goes, actually, it's pretty much going to be the same, guys. So just do what you did.
That's
I
good.
said, okay.
That's what you want to hear, isn't it?
Yeah.
The show, for those that don't know, I only saw it the first time last night, and of course this show was so hyped when it first came out in London, and you were a part of it there as well, right?
No, actually, neither of us have gotten to play it in London. But we,
Broadway.
Yeah, we both have been in the New York company and in the United States touring.
Did it
company.
open on Broadway first? Was that the first
Yes,
place?
yeah, Broadway was
Right,
the first
okay.
opening.
So what was it like when it opened? You know, what was the because they spent millions, didn't they, advertising it, and you couldn't get a ticket. The thing was just crazy, right?
It was a big deal.
And they still every single show has a standing room lottery where people come and try and buy tickets just to stand in the back of the theater, and that's a constant for the show.
Which
to
is
this day,
crazy 8 years later.
Yeah.
8 years? Is it that long?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, this past winter we celebrated the 8-year
8
anniversary.
years. I must say that just before we went in to the show last night, and I said to my friend, I have never, seriously, at the Empire in Sunderland, been there many times, never seen queues, lines you would call it, people, you don't call it queues, do you? Lines of people going right around the block, you know, and people wanting returns, like you say. It's just the biggest sensational hit, and now you've brought it here to the Northeast. We should say, for anyone that doesn't know, that the show is controversial, the right word?
Well, I think depending on the people you talk to, yes. I think it's because the subject matter is at some points a little inappropriate or a bit raucous.
A little?
Yeah.
It's slightly inappropriate.
I think it's safe to say that we've become a little desensitized to it, I suppose. But I mean,
because you've done 800 performances or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. The show just, it's tough. It's the classic South Park style comedy. I mean, it is. It puts you on the back foot as an audience member to keep you off balance, so that you are really open to everything that we're about to give you. I mean, we try to put in some shock value, but at the same time, really smart, intelligent comedy, and then a really smart and, I think, hopeful message at the end. That's the best part of the show for me.
I like the quick bits where there's little nods to things, you know. And at one point, Donny Osmond gets mentioned.
Oh yeah.
At one point, there's the Mickey take of the Lion King, which we'll talk about later.
Right.
We should say as well, for those that don't know, the creators of South Park, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, wrote it. Have you met them? Did you have to work alongside those two?
We actually did get to meet them. We'd been with the show for just over 4 years and hadn't yet. Then they actually were in London as we were rehearsing this version of the production. So that was actually a really exciting day for everyone because we got to just meet kind of the dads of the show, which was a really fun time.
And the creators of South Park.
I know. Yeah. I mean, they're legends. I mean, I remember sneaking over to my friend's house and just hiding in his basement so we could watch episodes of South Park and, hope our parents didn't find out. And now here I am. I'm like, well, they're my bosses now, so,
I did that, but I was 33 at the time, which was like... This is a very funny show with excellent singing and dancing, but the humour is racist. There's lots of swearing. It mocks gay people, black people, religion. Check before you book to see it's for you. Well, yeah. Why didn't that person check then?
Well, here's the thing. We still get so many people that expect when they hear a musical, they think that every musical as the genre itself is just going to be a night of frivolity and fun. And, like every musical is The Music Man. And that's just not the case anymore. More people nowadays do research before they'll spend, £8 on a movie ticket than they will £70 on a theater ticket. They'll be like, well, this movie got one bad review, so I don't think I want to spend £8. But here they're coming to the theater being like, I don't really know anything about your show, but hopefully it'll be fun. I'm like, I see you brought your 8-year-old with you. Maybe.
It's not for children at all. I think 15 is probably the cutoff level, but even then, depending on the 15-year-old probably, isn't it? Down to parents' discretion. The show is fast-moving, the songs are brilliant, the cast are excellent. There wasn't a moment where I didn't stop smiling, and I left the theatre in fits of laughter and keep laughing about the show even now. So there's someone that absolutely, completely got it. Oh dear. Oh guys, right.
Give it to us.
Oh guys. This was the most offensive show I've ever seen.
So we won. That's exciting. That's great.
They're kind of like we've done our job properly now. laughing at AIDS, rape, Ugandan people who were depicted as ignorant, carrying diseases, and needed to be saved by the white race. I cringed throughout and left the theatre. Couldn't understand why people were laughing. I was begging for the end.
Wait,
Well,
did they make it to the end? Because that would change
No,
some things.
so here's what I'll say is that the show, all of these things that can be misinterpreted as racist or xenophobic or homophobic are not, because these characters ultimately have arcs. They have growing arcs, and they are representing stories that are very, very real. So, a character like Elder McKinley battling with being a closeted homosexual is not an uncommon story. And so if anything, by our show sort of showing his growth is giving a really positive story. And in terms of, poking fun at a Ugandan community, if you stayed till the end, in the final scene, it is the Ugandan community that delivers us the full message of the show.
I think they've left early, haven't they?
It sounds like they did, which is the biggest mistake you can make with our show.
It's a show that's won 9 Tony Awards, been performed on 3 continents, and won over 30 international awards. It's rather popular and also rather rude and controversial, as we've been finding out. Connor, your character, Elder Cunningham, he's a fantasist, but he's a lovable character. He doesn't have friends. We tend to, especially at the start, feel rather sorry for him, don't we?
I mean, yeah, he kind of, in a lot of ways, gets to be, because some people will see the show and they'll definitely, we've had people say they identify with Price. I often get people who, come up and say, oh, I'm totally a Cunningham. It was really fun to watch because it just, they kind of get to see themselves through the character's journey, and that's a really fun part to get to do each night, and do it as a lovable character you get to laugh at, so...
And Kevin, for you, Elder Price, he really doesn't want to be with him, does he? They've been, without giving too much away, thrust on this mission to go to Uganda, but it's about both of you, but it's mainly about you.
That's how I see it.
As the song kind of, it's mainly about you.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I mean, it's really fun to play a character that falls. Once again, without giving too much. I mean, it's always fun to, because I think Elder Price goes through some of the most dynamic changes within the show, and that's always really fun to play. I mean, to play really, really highs and really, really lows, and in the meantime, just singing the whole time.
Yeah,
which
you do so well, and you're
you.
so energetic. There you are, jumping up and down, tuck it in your shirt and singing. I'm like, how the guy does this? I don't know. It was great. It really was. I always think as well, because of this subject matter that we touched on earlier, somehow, don't you agree, it's easier to laugh at things that are controversial, hate that word really, but, we'll use it, when they are in a song. And it kind of because you're not verbalizing it, and sometimes, because the song sounds happy.
Well, there is something about just the tool of song in musicals in general that kind of adds a fantastical element to what would otherwise be really difficult. It'd be harder to speak those lines, but there's something about saying something so ludicrous and then doing it to a pretty melody that kind of creates a more safe environment to be able to chuckle at the idea.
I think safe is the right word. So it's the comfortability that our writers are constantly playing with. So the composer of our show, Bobby Lopez, who also wrote Avenue Q.
Yes, that's right.
Once again, Avenue Q is a fantastic example that he took the medium of a show in the style of Sesame Street, something that is very comfortable and very warm, and added real life issues to it, being able to pay for your rent, getting wasted, having one night stands, stuff like that. So this show is the same. We have songs that, like you said, you're talking about all of these kind of heavy things, but if the song sounds like Hakuna Matata, the audience goes,
which it does.
Okay, I'm peppy, but wait, what?
What's the name of that song again, Kev?
Hasadiga Ibawai.
Hasadiga Ibawai, and there is a part when you go and see it, you'll see this where is it you that says, what does Hasadiga Ibawai mean?
Oh,
and then we shan't give give it away. But
No, of course not.
It is revealed what it means, and oh my God, that sets the pace for the rest of the show, doesn't it? When it's like,
That's the moment where all the parents who brought their 8-year-olds accidentally go, we should go.
to go. It has the best opening number as well, I have to say, with the doorbell routine.
Hello.
Hello.
Heart's been